The free speech ripple is coming out of the United States after Donald Trump's election. Why do I say that? Because I've been given my YouTube channel back. Insane. I was censored, deleted, silenced, disappeared off of all social medias. One by one. Elon Musk buys X. I'm giving back my page. I've come out of custody. Bang. The YouTube channel that the Labour government made YouTube delete, make invisible, couldn't comment, couldn't share, is now back. What does that mean? It means that for 4 years of total censorship, I made content, I made documentaries, some of my best work that you haven't seen if you're on YouTube. You haven't seen it. I've got 48 podcasts. Do you know how damning it was for me and how to do the best content, the most important work I've done, and no one could reach, I couldn't reach the public with it. Well, not anymore. We're back. So there's going to be a backlog of content, of documentaries, of interviews being uploaded. But now it gives me the opportunity to plan and get excited, because I am excited, because it means we can reach the masses, which has always been my goal, is to make people think, to make people realise, to let them see the truth, to question things, to highlight problems that the government and the mainstream media don't want to cover. Well, you want to find those problems, you want to hear them, you want to see the best investigations that any citizen journalist has ever done, then you need to like and subscribe to my Tommy Robinson YouTube channel. Share, speak, content, share it everywhere. We're going to explode. We're back.
In his latest live stream, activist Tommy Robinson framed his return to mainstream digital platforms as both a personal victory and a broader sign of shifting tides in the online free speech wars. Robinson, who has spent years battling bans from major social media sites, told viewers he had created some of my best work while fully deplatformed. Work he claims was suppressed from public view until now. That visibility, he argued, has been revived in large part thanks to Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, rebranded as X, which Robinson credits with giving everyone a voice. Fresh out of what he calls a politically motivated incarceration, Robinson announced that YouTube has restored his channel. The move allows him to begin uploading his extensive back catalog, a step he suggested will reconnect him with audiences who have been cut off for years. His remarks underscore a recurring theme in his political messaging. The idea that establishment forces, including governments and big tech, have sought to silence dissenting voices through coordinated deplatforming, casting Musk as a catalyst for digital free speech and painting his own reemergence on YouTube as a counterpunch to censorship. Robinson is positioning himself as both a beneficiary and a symbol of what he sees as a new era of open debate. Critics, however, will note that his deplatforming came after repeated violations of platform rules, including hate speech policies. Supporters argue those same rules were selectively enforced to marginalize anti-establishment figures. Either way, Robinson's return to major platforms will reignite the debate over whether big tech's content moderation safeguards public discourse or suppresses it. If Robinson follows through on his promise to flood YouTube with his archived material, the coming months could test just how far the platforms and their audiences are willing to go in embracing voices once deemed too controversial for the digital public square.
Donald Trump's administration has released a new report slamming the British government for, quote, repeatedly imposing serious restrictions on free speech. The US State Department's report criticised rising anti-Semitism, bans on silently praying, protests outside abortion clinics, and the new Online Safety Act. Well, I'm very pleased to be joined now by the DC Bureau Chief at the Daily Wire, Tim Rice. Tim, tremendous to see you. Thank you very much. So could you just explain to us exactly why the US is so concerned about free speech in Britain?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Patrick. We're concerned because, I would say, speaking on behalf of the Trump administration, we're concerned because we see what we have here. We see what our great ally, the other end of the special relationship once had. And I think the Trump administration sees what's happening in Europe. They see, as you said, all of the sort of slights against free speech that are happening. And this is a concern. I think, the State Department, as many critics have pointed out, has been putting this report out for about 50 years. And I think the Trump administration calling out its allies, Great Britain, France, Germany, in this report signals two things. One is that it shows its priorities. It says that free speech is a priority, not just here, but across the globe too. And also, it shows that the Trump administration is not just going to file the same things, right? It's not just another report on human rights abuses in Myanmar or, famine in Sudan, which are tragedies, but which are things that have been the highlights of this report for the past 50 years. By taking this and saying this is not just going to be another version of the same report, this is going to be something new, something a little bit shocking, something where we call out our allies. I think it's a really strong statement from Secretary Rubio and from the entire administration of throwing the gauntlet down and saying these are our priorities. And we expect even our allies to agree with us on this.
So this is genuinely the view of the United Kingdom in the United States of America, that we are dangerously clamping down on freedom of speech and freedom of expression?
I don't know if it's widely shared, but I think among the administration, yes. And I would say this, this is the first presidential administration in recent memory that has been the victim of censorship and of sort of attempts to restrict its free speech rather than the censor, right? For most of the past half century, regardless of party, the federal government and the president and the White House have been the people who decide what gets on, what gets out, what is silenced, what is not. President Trump was kicked off of X. I think that carries, a lot with him. I think it really informs his worldview, and particularly his relationship with European leaders. They try to quiet him. I think he would say they're also trying to quiet people in the UK who, if they were in the United States, would probably be Trump voters. So I'm not sure if it's a widespread opinion in the country, but definitely I think in the White House.
Daily Wire commentator Tim Rice has accused Donald Trump's State Department of breaking long-standing diplomatic precedent by publicly chastising Britain, one of America's closest allies, over what it characterized as slights against free speech. According to Rice, the rare public censure singled out recent UK measures, such as local bans on silent prayer outside abortion facilities and the controversial Online Safety Act. The latter, framed by the British government as a tool to protect users from harmful online content, has been criticized by civil liberties groups for granting sweeping powers to police speech and compel tech companies to scan private communications. The move has sparked debate over whether Washington's intervention reflects a principled stand on freedom of expression or a politically motivated jab intended to appeal to Trump's populist base. Supporters of the statement see it as a long overdue warning to allies that America's commitment to free speech extends beyond its borders. Detractors contend that airing such grievances publicly risks straining transatlantic relations and undermining coordinated efforts on broader policy priorities, from security cooperation to trade. With the UK government standing by its legislative agenda and Trump's allies doubling down on the rebuke, the episode underscores a growing willingness, at least under Trump, to confront even friendly governments over domestic policies deemed incompatible with American free speech values.